even, I mean, he did such a great job on the scheme. Congratulations. As much as I'm not a Buckeye fan, I was pulling for Notre Dame. I picked the Buckeyes to win because, well, it was just obvious. But congratulations to them on winning the national championship. You know, they spent a lot of money to win that championship. And so they had to sit and watch Michigan win the championship last year. You know, the seat was getting hot for Ryan Day. Trust me, I listen to what Buckeye fans, what they say. I've read the forums. I've read comment boards. And a lot of you now are having some, you know, convenient amnesia. But him losing to Michigan, a lot of people were sick of it. And they wanted him gone. And I mean, I'm sorry, I'm literate. I can read. I can read what people are saying. And he won last night, and he got that monkey off his back. He got the national championship, the first time since, the very first playoff, you know, 14 playoff setup. But anyway, before I go any farther, I'm glad y'all are here. Obviously, I'm normally, if you're a new viewer, you don't know, it's not so obvious, but normally I am in my office, but right now I'm having to do some traveling, a little bit of traveling, so I figured I would go live. So if you like talking college football, I hope you'll subscribe. I do appreciate it. Remember, it's free. Last night was one of those games that when you made the prediction, the best thing you could do is go with the obvious. Now, some people like to try to do the hot take. Oh, this is a hot take. Folks, that's where people messes up. And that's where people start gambling on games mentally. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out who's gonna win this game. A lot of times you need to go with the team that it looks the most obvious that they're gonna win the game. I mean, most of the times that's what you need to do. And if you go that route, you would have picked Ohio State last night. Now, that first drive by Notre Dame, it was 9 minutes, 45 seconds long. It was physical. They pushed around Notre Dame, or Ohio State. And it was, I mean, it was impressive. But we saw Ohio State go right down the field. And I'm telling you, that scheme, that play design by Chip Kelly, where he sent Jeremiah Smith in motion when the play started, he swings back around, comes back out. I mean, it was an easy touchdown pass. What a brilliant design. And folks, listen, that's what you hear me talk about all the time. Coaching matters. It flipping matters. So, wow, that was incredible. But this was one of those games where it just, once they got started, there was really no stopping them. Notre Dame came out on the next drive, and they started having penalties. And the type of offense that they've been successful with really doesn't allow you to have that many penalties and stay competitive in a game where the other team has so many weapons. So there we go. But congrats to the Buckeyes. A couple of things that we can look at with this college football playoff, and we need to, whether we're talking about this 12-team format, obviously this was the first year for it, the 12-team or the 4-team format. We've seen a lot of blowouts. You know, we have seen a lot of blowouts. And it's just kind of interesting that no matter the format, the blowouts that we've seen, the dominant wins that we've seen, and in this 12-team format, we absolutely saw a lot of just semi-blowouts, like double-digit wins, and last night was no different. I mean, I know that Notre Dame scored and started getting it close. They were driving down the field. They could have, tried to score again, and they would have got even closer. But, Ohio State stops them. Period. Ohio State stops these guys and goes downfield, hits field goal. And then I think the very last play of the game for Notre Dame, they knew they had lost, but it was just that them dumping the ball off, to try to take advantage of Ohio State kind of dropping back in coverage, and then the defensive lineman just immediately wrapping up the running back. And then Notre Dame not even trying to rush back to the line. They knew that they were done. They knew that the game was over. There was no reason in trying to rush back to the line. To me, it just kind of showed me that it was like, man, there's no use. And I know some of you are like, well, duh, Brian. Part of that's me driving and trying to think of what to say, but it was just, they were just outmatched. So anyway, Ohio State just came and came to the game, brought it. They used their talent. Let's talk about what that does for college football, and I'll probably do a whole other video on this. As I said, the playoffs, whether it's 4-team or 12-team playoff, we have seen a lot of blowouts or dominant wins. I mean, not even remotely close. What Ohio State did to Oregon was eyebrow raising. What Penn State did to SMU would make you shake your head. What happened with, even Notre Dame beating Georgia by 13 points. I mean, that's a commanding win. So, it's just interesting to see these dominant wins. I also saw a stat this morning with a bunch of teams from the 4-team playoff who were blown out. You got to think about the year Clemson beat Alabama in the national championship. They won by 4 touchdowns and 18. Turned around the very next year, and it went into the fourth quarter, and it was close at one point. And then LSU just opened up a can on them. And Clemson got blown out the very next year. So I expect some people to start talking about the blowout that's happened throughout this 12-team playoff. But, folks, that's been happening in the 4-team playoff since its inception. So, just wait for people to start complaining about the playoffs and their format, and you just have to go back to the 4-team playoff and go, hey, we had 4 teams, and everyone was fighting for those sacred top 4 spots. There were blowouts there as well. Last year, the national championship was a blowout. Michigan smacked around Washington. And what was the final? 34-13, something like that? I mean, it wasn't even remotely close. So, anyway, that will be interesting. And then the next thing, this will be my last point. The next thing is, or that we should consider. If Ohio State spends $20+ million on their roster, you going? Did they just set a new standard in the market? Because that's what college football is. It's a business. It's been a business way before NIL. It became a business the very first time you saw an advertisement inside the stadium, or you saw a logo on the side of a cup from the concession stand. It was a business then, right? And probably before then, it definitely became a major money hub. So, excuse me. So, I guess what we have to ask ourselves is, last night with them winning, did that create the new standard in the market? That if you win, if you want to win a national championship, you're going to have to spend that type of money. So I think it's a valid question. I think it could be very bad for things. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. All I do know is that Ohio State got their return on investment. You know, in the business world, there's something called ROI, return on investment. And that means you invest with an expected return. You're like, yeah, I get that. And a lot of people really don't. They don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that in the business world, there are a lot of companies around you who will receive money from investors. They seemingly know what they're doing. And folks, I can tell you, they don't know what they're doing. And the way to tell that is when you look at their return on investment. How did they invest those funds, and what was their return on it? Last night, Ohio State got their return on investment. It was a national championship. So there you go. I can't really speak to anyone right now. I see some people who's in the comments section, but I just want to tell everyone hello. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying, especially if you're in South Carolina, North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Georgia, Northeast Georgia. It's cold right now. It is really cold, so I hope everybody is staying nice and safe. You're staying nice and warm. But college football season is over. College football season is officially over, and we'll be looking to spring games. We'll be looking to recruits signing in February. And we're just going to be talking about here on the channel. I'm going to be talking about different things. Just have some fun. You know, this is just talking college sports. I mean, I can talk about college basketball, whatever, but I really love the college football game. I really, really do. And so it's going to be a tough off season. It's always a tough off season. It's never easy. But anyway, y'all take care of yourself. Stay warm. I hope you will subscribe. If you haven't already, the channel is growing. I hope you'll subscribe. Remember, it's free. If you like what I'm doing, I do appreciate it. Y'all take care of yourself.